Here are the things that I would want to see changed by Mauricio Pochettino ahead of the U.S.'s game against Australia tomorrow. The first change comes below us here. I think it's simple. You play Pulisic and Tillman together as the right and left 10. Clearly, in that game against Ecuador, the U.S. were tame, and they kind of lacked a second striker. Tillman comes away with an assist to Flo pretty much just in this left half space. Moving Weston out of that spot and Tillman into it immediately created the goal. Tillman's great in the press, so is Pulisic, and for Milan, Pulisic has played as that second striker, and I think that the U.S. need that extra goal threat. Speaking of Weston, that's change number 2. Strictly just put him in the 8. That's where he's been best for the national team. With his newfound fitness, along with just his ability to carry the ball and play balls over the top, I really like Weston in that role. And I don't think that Morris or Tessman, in that regard, did anything to warrant them keeping their spot. So for me, coming into this World Cup run, I think it's going to be Adams and McKennie in those 2 spots, and I kind of want to see McKennie back in the 8. The next change is also connected, and it's putting Sands in the 6. For St. Pauli this year, I'm going to throw his numbers up. For St. Pauli this year, he's been a defensive contribution master. I mean, just look at the numbers. They speak for themselves. And in this formation in particular, especially if you're playing Weah as a wingback, you need your 6 to cover a ton of ground and to do a bunch defensively. I think he's the closest thing that we have to Tyler Adams in that sense. He's the closest thing to a like-to-like swap. And personally, I want to see the U.S. get to as close as possible to a starting 11 for the World Cup as possible as we continue to build performances. So give him a shot. You don't bring in a guy like this who's been playing for a team in Germany if you're not going to give him a shot. And on that note, Carter Vickers is the last change. Look, Miles Robinson just isn't to the level. I don't think he can't be a squad player, but I just think that you need someone with experience. Carter Vickers is one of those guys with the experience. A captain and a player that has played at the highest levels in Europe for Celtic, and honestly kind of just feels like he suits the 3-back formation. Getting beat in transition and being beat physicality-wise is my biggest concerns. Carter Vickers is better in both of those areas than Miles Robinson. I also think that he just does it at the highest level. So, he's the last change I would make. And similar to Sands, he's done it at the highest levels in Europe, and if you bring him into a camp like this, you need to see him play. I don't want to see him get benched again, and so that's why I'm chucking him into the starters and seeing if he can play off of Richards. So, those are the changes I would make. Asterisks to Robinson, I'm hoping he's healthy enough to play because obviously him building chemistry with the team is important. But those are the changes I would make. Let me know what changes you would make in the comments below.